Today we got the Lich King versus MCU Thanos, and let's begin. It's your favorite Dinobot here, and we're gonna start with the Lich King. The Lich King is probably one of the top, definitely top two, definitely top two strongest things in Warcraft universe, or at least in Warcraft universe, at least when it comes to mainline bosses. He's easily above characters like Illidan, Stormage, who, as I've shown in my Illidan versus MCU Hulk video, has been able to shave off and he pretty much rip planets in half with his magic. And the Lich King was not only able to beat him, he was able to just straight up humiliate him when he was younger. As like the Lich King wasn't even in his prime form; he was in his human form. Arthas, I believe it was, right? So he was in that form when he actually was able to beat Illidan, and then over the years he became much stronger than that. Illidan, like I said before, is above the likes of characters like Golden, who have been able to raise islands, and he's above Sargus, who has actually been able to slay entire pantheons. Okay, this even include like void gods as well. So you have your little bit of, a universal like feat there where characters can pretty much fight against void gods who are pretty much in control of like an endless space of nothing, pretty much like an endless universe filled with nothing, and they're able to kind of like destroy these beings that are able to control this entire universe. So again, you have that, and then you have characters that can destroy stars as such, a like a low end feat right there. So we're going to stick with the star level here because we're going to have Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet. In terms of hexes, the Lich King is pretty much a spawn of Kill Jaden almost, or at least a construct of him. This means he cannot die. He has everlasting immortality, and if he does die, he'll just simply reform. He also has necromancy, cryomancy. He's able to freeze opponents, able to amp his blade with ice, even use ice magic to like freeze, slip up, even being able to pretty much bypass an opponent's durability, even being able to the point where he could freeze souls. So again, I think the Lich King versus Sub-Zero would actually be a pretty competent match here because they can freeze souls and they have very different aspects of it. But just the sheer fact that he's able to fight against beings who can destroy void gods. Now we're gonna lowball here for the sanctity of not giving them that kind of attack potency. The void is kind of like this endless space in World of Warcraft, and these void gods kind of like control it very easily. And the void is supposed to be like some type of just like endless universe in a way. So again, I just think that it's it's not out of the ordinary because again, he's able to defeat these heroes he's able to defeat like 25 man or raid teams, and these raid teams are able to casually defeat the likes of Kill Jaden and Deathwing. So in all honesty, if you're using that, and I know I didn't do that for Illidan, but again, you guys got to realize I'm kind of adjusting myself to World of Warcraft. So if we actually use that for these characters, they can easily scale to like Star, Solar System, Universal, because you're defeating multiple planet busters and star level destroyers. Sorry about that. So yeah, Lich King is incredibly powerful. You can easily scale him to like I said, Sargus, Deathwing, who just by flexing was causing planet-wide havoc. Okay. Just by this dude waking up in the ground, this dude was shifting tectonic plates very easily, and was able to, again, being able to be above Illidan and above the Jailer, who are characters that could easily defeat star level characters and body the likes of Sargus. So again, the Lich King is pretty powerful, and he's also incredibly skilled. As we know, he's an expert swordsman, as Arthas was one of the top, I think, heroes or knights within his generation. So now we have MCU Thanos. Thanos, the Mad Titan, the world conquering character. Thanos is easy above characters like Malekith, who was powered by the Reality Stone, and this Malekith was capable of pretty much destroying all 9 realms, including all 9 planets. which it would include Midgard as well, and he was going to actually turn everything into darkness, meaning all 9 realms would have been, all 9 planets would have engulfed in darkness. And in Jane Foster's vision, the Reality Stone had the power to destroy a sun. He would also be stronger than Infinity War Thor before he got Stormbreaker. I gotta emphasize that, before he got Stormbreaker, was able to restart the rings of Nidavellir. And Nidavellir, these rings were meant to pretty much be bigger than a neutron star. So that's pretty impressive. And yet Thanos was overpowering the likes of Hulk, who would be stronger than that Thor, right? And this Hulk was also just able to deck Zerter, who was amped by the eternal flames, right? Capable of one-shotting Asgard, which is again a planet. So yeah, this Thanos was just able to just destroy him very easily. In terms of AP as well, he's also able to overpower Worthy Cap, Iron Man, which was in a much stronger suit, and Thor, who was actually much more confident, not in his prime, unfortunately, it went during Endgame, but he was just much more, he had his mental state back in order. That's basically what it was. He had his mental state back in order, but he wasn't the way he was back in Infinity War because he was just depressed. So yeah, it was kind of like a nerf Thor, and I definitely have to say that Iron Man was kind of like the strongest in that fight right there, because he not only he had a much better suit superior to his Infinity War suit, which I'll pretty much get into right now, because Thanos was actually able to take down that suit pretty easily and even rip it apart. So that suit, right, the Infinity War suit, would be above the Power Stone. And this is because Iron Man's full power of that suit was beating on an Infinity Gauntlet Thanos, and was actually able to draw blood from him. And that's impressive because that Iron Man suit was also able to tank a blast from the power, also take attacks from the Power Stone. In terms of durability, he's able to take attacks from Iron Man, a bloodlusted Scarlet Witch who was threatening to rip him apart, multiple Avengers like War Machine, Iron Man, Doctor Strange as well. In terms of combat speed, he's easily faster than light, able to block Iron Man's repulsor blasts, which are consistent of electromagnetic energy, okay? So this is really consistent for the likes of Thanos here, okay? He's easily. And also a best testament of his durability is him being able to tank the Infinity Gauntlet, which in this continuity is actually kind of a hindrance, because it damages the user rather than, enhance them. So it's like they get all this power, the stones have all the power, but the drawback is you're getting damaged from it. Okay? So let's begin here. And I think without the Infinity Gauntlet, I think Thanos is going to lose that here. I definitely think that Thanos is definitely out-haxed and is kind of equally stat here. And I'll tell you why. So the Lich King is able to dodge Starlight, which is easily a beam of, light here. And that would put him at Fashion of Light. Same with Thanos, who's able to react to electromagnetic energy from Iron Man, which is also light speed. So I think what it comes down to is the hexes that these two have here. And the Lich King just simply has more hexes. Thanos has good resistance, but just the sheer fact that he was he struggled against magic, and the the magical powers of the Lich King and the other characters are kind of like in World of Warcraft actually rival the likes of characters like Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch once she's actually able to establish herself as a a competent threat here. I do have to say that Illidan Stormage, with his more experienced magic and his physical capabilities along with the magic, just make him a much more a much more competent threat here. Okay? And yet you have all these characters that scale to star level, solar system, and yet you have Thanos simply being at that star to kind of solar system level. He's like, he's there, but not all the way there, if you get what I mean. Adding the Infinity Gauntlet, I do think that Thanos would take it. There's just a lot more power. Being able to shred the universe down to atoms and restart it, albeit it will kill him. So in all honesty, he wins with it, but it's likely that he injures himself in the process. So, like, it's very interesting because we can't really give him that kind of power, albeit there is universal statements around the Power Stone as well, considering the fact that Thanos is able to hold it. And then there's universal powers around the Lich King as well, with him being able to scale above these raid teams who are capable of defeating beings that can destroy entire voids, which would consistently be universes. So even if we give them those universal stats and not nerf them like I'm doing here, if we gave them those universal stats, right, this means that I think if we gave them those universal stats, I think it would be just about a draw. But Lich King would edge here due to his sheer hexes. The cryomancy, the durability bypass. I just see him taking Thanos because he just has a lot more hexes here. And that'll be all for today, guys.